The universe already decided how humanity would die, not by accident, not by surprise, but by design. Far beyond Earth, ancient alien minds ran a perfect machine that calculated the future of every young civilization, and Earth's result was clear. Extinction, 87 years, internal collapse, resource wars, final invasion. The date was locked, the ending was written, but the machine made one mistake. It tried to calculate humans. One, the machine that predicted death. In the center of the galaxy, an ancient alliance called the Celestial Accord watched over developing worlds. They did not rule, they did not conquer, they observed. Their greatest creation was a continuum engine, a massive prediction system powered by quantum cores and millions of years of data. It studied behavior, conflict patterns, resource curves, emotional stability, war probability. No civilization had ever escaped its calculations. If the engine said extinction, extinction came. When Earth was detected as a rising technological species, the Accord became curious. Humans were fast, too fast, from steam engines to nuclear weapons in a blink of cosmic time. So they ran the simulation. The result appeared in cold light. Humanity, self-terminating species. Estimated survival window, 87 planetary cycles. Cause of extinction, Phase 1, climate and resource drain. Phase 2, global conflict escalation. Phase 3, external opportunistic invasion. Phase 4, collapse. The file was archived. Earth was already dead. They were just waiting for time to catch up. 2, the silent observers. A small observation ship was placed at the edge of the solar system, hidden beyond Pluto's orbit. Its mission was simple: record the fall of humanity. The alien observers expected chaos. At first, everything matched perfectly. Political tension increased. Energy shortages spread. Nations argued over water and rare minerals. The probability line on their screens followed the exact curve predicted by the engine. The aliens felt no emotion. This was normal. Civilizations burned themselves out all the time. Humans were nothing special. 3, the first crack in the script. Then came a global crisis. A powerful chain of solar flares damaged satellites and power grids. Cities went dark. Markets crashed. Fear spread across continents. The continuum engine had marked this moment as the beginning of irreversible breakdown. The observers waited for war. Instead, something strange happened. Countries that had been rivals shared emergency energy reserves. Military transport planes delivered food to former enemy states. Scientists opened private research data to the world for free. It was not perfect. There were riots. There was fear, but there was also cooperation. The probability graph shifted. Only 2%. But the engine had never been wrong before. 2% was impossible. The observers recalculated. The extinction timeline moved slightly. From 87 years to 92, they stared at each other in silence. No civilization had ever extended its survival window, not even by a year. Humans gained 5. 4. Pressure creates strength. Over the next decade, Earth changed faster than predicted. Instead of collapsing under pressure, humans adapted. Desert nations built massive solar fields. Cold nations developed new farming systems. Private companies launched orbital defense platforms, officially for asteroid protection, unofficially for something else. Humans did not know aliens were watching, but they prepared for the unknown anyway. That was not in the model. The continuum engine predicted humans would act only on visible threats, yet they were preparing for invisible ones. The probability curve began to shake. 5. The real threat approaches. Far from Earth, another power was watching. The Carthel Dominion, a conquering empire that expanded into weak systems. They had intercepted fragments of Accord prediction data. Earth was marked future dead world. Perfect target. Why fight a strong species when you can invade one already collapsing? Their invasion fleet was scheduled for 42 years later. They would let humanity weaken itself first. The script was still moving toward extinction, but now there were delays. Small ones, uncomfortable ones. 6. The second shock. Another crisis hit Earth, worse than the first. A global supply chain failure caused food shortages across multiple continents. The engine predicted full-scale war within 18 months. The observers waited. They prepared to record humanity's final spiral. But instead of launching missiles, world leaders formed a temporary global resource council. It was messy. It was loud. It was full of arguments. But they stayed in the same room. That mattered. Military forces protected farms instead of borders. Citizens rationed voluntarily in many regions. Black markets existed. But so did community networks. The probability curve jumped again. Extinction timeline, 120 years. The observers felt something new. Concern. 7, the unthinkable result. Back in the galactic core, the continuum engine ran a full recalculation. Millions of timelines unfolded. Most still ended in collapse. But not all. Some futures now showed. Human interplanetary expansion. Unified planetary defense systems. Repelled external invasion. Technological surge beyond projection. One branch even showed humanity joining the galactic stage as a military equal. That branch was marked low probability. But it existed, and it had not existed before. The Celestial Accord Council chamber fell silent. One elder finally spoke. If they can shift fate once, they can shift it again. Another replied. Then, perhaps the threat is not their extinction. A pause. Perhaps the threat is their survival. Cliffhanger. At the edge of the solar system, the hidden observer ship received a classified message. The Carthel Dominion had moved up their invasion timeline. Arrival, 12 years. The continuum engine recalculated instantly. Projected outcome, human extinction, 68%. Human victory, 32%. The observers stared at the number, 32%. No young species had ever had odds that high against the Dominion, and the number was still rising. Cut to black. The silence before the storm. The Galactic High Council believed the war was over. Their fleets surrounded Earth. Their leaders celebrated. Across the galaxy, news channels repeated the same message. Humanity has surrendered. But something felt wrong. Human communications had not resumed. No peace treaty was sent. No official surrender was signed. Only silence. Satellite the first disappearance. 12 hours after the kneeling, a council supply fleet vanished. No distress call. No explosion. No debris. Just gone. At first, they blamed equipment failure. Then a border patrol fleet disappeared. Then a deep space listening station went dark. One by one, system by system, like stars being quietly erased from the sky. The shadows move. Long-range scanners detected shapes in deep space. Huge objects moving without engine trails. Cold, invisible to normal sensors. These were not new human ships. They were old warships, built in secret, hidden for decades, waiting. The night protocol had fully awakened. Skull the first strike. The Council's outer military base near the Orion Passage sent a final message. Unknown vessels detected. They are inside our defense grid. Transmission ended. When scouts arrived, the base was empty, not destroyed, disabled, power gone, weapons silent, command frozen. The attackers had not wasted time. They had removed the threat perfectly. Cross-swords fear spreads. Panic began inside the council chambers. For the first time in centuries, the High Council felt fear. They ordered a full retreat from Earth. But retreat requires safe paths. And every jump gate was already blocked. Human ships were waiting, silent, still, patient. The galaxy finally understood something. Humanity had not surrendered. Humanity had prepared. Shooting star Earth rises. Above Earth, the Council flagship received a signal. It came from deep space. Encrypted, ancient. Then thousands of unknown ships dropped out of warp around a Council fleet. No warning, no speeches, no threats, just action. Within minutes, Council command ships lost power. Weapon systems failed. Navigation systems crashed. Human vessels did not fire wildly. They targeted only military systems. They neutralized, not destroyed. This was not revenge. This was control. Brain, the truth revealed. The night protocol had one rule. If Earth falls, remove the hand that pushed it. Not conquer the galaxy. Not rule over others. Only remove those who tried to erase humanity. The High Council had made a mistake. They believed humans were emotional and reckless. But humans were patient. For over a century, humanity had built hidden fleets beyond mapped space. Ships powered by dark reactors. Controlled by advanced battle AI. Designed for one purpose. End threats completely. Person kneeling the final moment. The Council flagship drifted powerless. Their shields were gone. Their weapons were offline. The human Supreme Commander appeared again on every screen. This time he was standing, calm, steady, unshaken. He spoke slowly. We knelt to remember who we are. We rise to make sure no child on Earth ever sees the sky filled with enemies again. He gave one final command. Disband the High Council. Human fleets did not fire on civilian worlds. They did not invade peaceful planets. They dismantled only the Council's military power. In one single night cycle, the most powerful government in the galaxy collapsed. Sunrise the morning after. When sunrise touched Earth again, the sky was clear. No enemy ships. No burning debris. Only quiet. Across the galaxy, smaller worlds whispered a new truth. Humans do not seek war, but if pushed to their knees, they will stand up in a way no one expects. The day humanity knelt became history. But the night the galaxy fell became legend. Because that night, every species learned something important. Mercy from humanity is a gift. But under that mercy is power strong enough to shake the stars.